Good afternoon, everyone. It is 5 after 1, and I am opening up this meeting. So here we go. I will now call to order the February 1st, 2018 regular meeting of the City of Rancho Mirage City Council, Library and Observatory Board, Housing Authority Board, and the City Council representing the Redevelopment Successor Agency. Will you please stand for the flag salute? And Chrissy, would you please do the honors? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Now, will you please have the roll call, Chrissy?
Certainly. Councilmember Hobart?
Here.
Councilmember SMOTRICH? Here. Councilmember Weil?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Kite?
Here.
And Mayor Townsend.
I am here. Get a pencil? Good. Okay. Thanks, Steve. I got it. Thank you. Next, we're going to move on to presentations. And at this time, the first is recognition of Sergeant Sean Myers. I'll read a little something here. The City of Rancho Mirage places high priority on public safety. We take pride in the high level of service provided by our police department and the fine men and women who keep us safe day in and day out. Our deputies are part of our community, and I want to acknowledge the great work by Sergeant Sean Myers during his 4.5 years in Rancho Mirage for his dedication and outstanding service to our community. Although we are sad to lose him, we are pleased, however, to see him being advanced to supervision of the investigating unit. Sergeant Myers was selected to the first dedicated sergeant for the City of Rancho Mirage back in 2013. During Sergeant Myers' time in Rancho Mirage, he was instrumental in developing protocols and procedures with the U.S. Secret Service Department and the Rancho Mirage Police Department for the security of dignitaries when they visited the city and Sunnylands. These were high-profile meetings that put a spotlight on our great city, and we can thank Sergeant Myers for his part in ensuring the security of those attending. At this time, I'd like to ask Lieutenant Shields and Sergeant Myers to meet me at the podium, please. See, how do we want to start this? Do we want to have you guys say a few words first before I do the presentation? Or will I do the presentation first? Presentation first? You want to do something?
Okay. But, well, thank you. My name's John Shields. I'm a lieutenant with the Rancho Mirage Police Department, and I came up just to speak a couple of words about Sean and the fact that he started 4.5 years ago as the dedicated sergeant here, and his first operation was a baptism by fire, because we had the President of the United States come and visit with the President of China, which was a very historic visit, and took hundreds of personnel for security purposes and working with the Secret Service, which is nice because Sean, in his prior assignments, worked with Intel, with the Secret Service, and so we had a very good relationship with him. So that's why he was involved and actually worked out very well for the City of Rancho Mirage. But Sean is now going to take over investigations, and we will be missing him.
Very good. Well, you want to come right over here with me, and then I'm going to present this to you, then I'm going to turn the mic over to you so you can say all those wonderful words. How's that? And here we go. That's Marcia Stein's. That's not what we want. We want this. You're not Marcia Stein, are you? No. Award of Merit to Sergeant Sean Myers, Riverside County Sheriff's Department, with sincere appreciation for outstanding service and dedication to the cities of Rancho Mirage and Indian Wells, 7/2013 to 2018. Congratulations, buddy. There you go.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Honorable Mayor, council members, city staff. 4.5 years ago, I was given the privilege of being the first sergeant assigned to the city of Rancho Mirage. At that time, I didn't know what to expect coming into this newly formed assignment, but now as I look back, I can say that this assignment has surpassed all expectations. As already mentioned, just months into my new position, I got word that President Obama was going to meet with the Chinese president in our city. It was a historic event on many levels for the city and the Sheriff's Department. After that, I could say that I'm very proud to have been involved in many other notable city events. 2 presidential summit that brought world leaders to Rancho Mirage, the Rancho Mirage Riders Festival, the Rancho Mirage High School's first varsity football game, the first city-sponsored fireworks show, and so many more. I want to thank each and every one of you for your support, not only personally, but professionally, by providing all the resources necessary to carry out my duties. Your support for law enforcement's mission surpassed all we could have hoped for the residents of, and the residents of Rancho Mirage have so much to be proud and grateful for. This fine city is second to none, and I will forever cherish the memories and friendships gained in my time serving you. It's truly been a privilege and an honor. Thank you.
Where's my photographer? Where's Cecil B. DeMille? There he is, right up there, right in the center. Okay, you got it? Very good. Thank you again.
Let me add one thing. One of the joys of being on the council is we get to know a number of the people in law enforcement reasonably well. Sergeant Myers will always be connected to the city of Rancho Mirage for no other reason than his mother lives in Rancho Mirage, has lived here for a number of years. I had the pleasure of meeting her on one of my trips, and so even though he won't be necessarily attending every one of the council meetings, he'll still have his heart here. So in any case, my indebtedness and thanks to you, Sean, and all the other people in law enforcement for the great job you do. Thank you, my friend.
Very good. Now I'm going to turn this over to Councilwoman Iris SMOTRICH for the next presentation. Iris, take it away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
You on?
It says on. Okay, hello? Okay. I'll hold it. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and welcome to everybody here. And if I can ask all the members that are present here from our Emergency Preparedness Commission to come on up, join me up here. This is a commission that is absolutely incredible. There are not too many commissions in Rancho Mirage that require such action, such teamwork, and such participation. And we are so proud of them. And as you can see, we are all wearing our CERT vests. And this is something we're also very proud of. And if you're not familiar with CERT training, it is the Community Emergency Rescue Team. We've all been trained, as have most of the city staff members, in rescuing people during an event, whether it be fires or floods or earthquakes. This is our job. We consider ourselves the first responders, and whether or not most of you consider yourselves first responders, that is actually something that you will be in an emergency. So when we saw people on television during the hurricanes, during the floods, rescuing each other. We really saw how important it is for people to know that they are first responders and to do whatever they can do. If you are a member of our Rancho Mirage family, which means if you are a resident, we offer this training class. It's about 24 hours. It's given over 3 days. And it trains you to do some of the things that most people never think about, including putting out fires and doing what you need to do, but also learning what you should not do to put your own self in danger. So it's a class worthwhile. We encourage all people living in Rancho Mirage to take it. Please call City Hall, find out when the next class is given. This cost is covered by Rancho Mirage, and we would be thrilled to have you trained so that you'll know what to do when you, or if you are called on to be a first responder. So, after saying all that, I want to welcome all these wonderful people here. And as I say, they do a great deal of work that people don't even realize. And I'll let Marcia Stein, our wonderful chair lady for the last 6 years, give you a little bit of rundown about how important they are and how important their duties are.
Thank you, and I must say we're so delighted that Iris has taken such an important role in not only promoting but supporting our commission, because the work we do is definitely life-saving and will be when we have a major event, which we're expecting in the Coachella Valley, a large earthquake. We have two incredible, actually 3 experts. Dr. Milletti, who's an expert on earthquakes and other disasters, Jim McFarland, who will be here, but he's an expert on cyber terrorism, and that's become so important. When he first came on, people were like, what, cyber? Why did you bring him on? We didn't know when he came on a number of years ago just how important that would be. But we have amazing people on this commission, and they've all taken significant roles. My vice chair, Mary Lou, is in charge of Map Your Neighborhood, which she'll talk about. Do you want to talk about that now just for a couple minutes, Mary Lou? She's an amazing co-chair. I'm hoping she'll step up very soon and be chair.
Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here today. You might wonder why a person of my age is carrying around a crowbar. This is something that I've learned to use as part of my CERT training, but it's also something I hope I won't have to use. But data tells us that some 95% of the rescues that are done in a disaster are done by you, people like you, people's neighbors, people's friends, people's family members. So to get trained on what to do and what not to do is very important. Now, the Map Your Neighborhood program is something that's available to each and every one of you. Our commission trains you to do the Map Your Neighborhood program at no cost. All it simply takes is a call to City Hall, and one of our commission members would contact you. Map Your Neighborhood teaches you 9 simple steps whereby you can learn what to do during that golden hour immediately following a disaster. Very simple steps on how to organize your immediate neighborhood. So please give us a call. We'll be glad to bring this booklet and our expertise to you, to your HOA and neighborhood, so that you too can be prepared in case a disaster does happen. So thank you very much. I'm proud to be here, and I'm glad to see you all here today.
Thank you, Mary Lou. So she has her crowbar, and what do I have? Anyone know what this is? It's my very favorite thing. She likes her crowbar. You can wear this on your head, and if it happens at night, you'll have both hands free. It's a miner's light with an LED, very bright light, so you can have both hands free to help your loved one or whoever needs your help. So this is my very favorite tool. So I just want to welcome all of my wonderful commissioners. They all do significant jobs, and I'm very, very lucky to have all of them with me today.
And perhaps there are a few people who might want to say a few words. We can just pass the microphone down, and this is Dennis Milletti, Dr. Dennis Milletti.
Everything you just heard is spot on. But in addition to that, what you do to prepare inside your home so the things you've collected over the years don't injure you in a major earthquake is very important to do. This commission has spoken to dozens and dozens of HOAs and country clubs in the last year to train people in how to prepare their home so that it's safe. The epidemiological research in California, and there's been a lot, shows that 90 to 95% of deaths and injuries in California earthquakes come from things inside people's homes. And that means we can eliminate all those deaths and injuries. And we'd like to share with you and your HOAs how to take steps to do that, and we'd be happy to come and do a presentation for you if you like. Oh, we have an event. One of my main things, and I've been doing this for 10 or 12 years, is organizing our annual Town Hall Earthquake Preparedness Forum. I've actually presented at most of them. This year I'm having a friend, Mark Benthian from the Southern California Earthquake Center, come, and he got huge amount of money from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to prepare for the nation a world-class film that connects the dots for people as they watch it. And using the Northridge earthquake as an example, you're taken through that event with some of the people who actually experienced it, with some of the original footage that was shot then, and some that Hollywood actually recreated. And it's a Hollywood class production to illustrate how preparedness beforehand can minimize the impacts during it. It's on February 21st. You're all invited to the Rancho Mirage Library at 5:30. We're having a free champagne reception to lure you in. And there might even be chocolate and nut cups. We'll see what we can come up with. And then you'll meet Mark, see this wonderful film, and he'll answer any question you might have about earthquake preparedness. 5:30, February 21st, Rancho Mirage Library. Thank you.
Well, I came here and I knew nothing about earthquakes, but let me just say that this area is way overdue. I urge you to come to Dr. Milletti's lectures and to probably take CERT, because there is nothing is going to happen the first few days, and even if you have a minimum at hand at home, it's going to be a big help. Really, please come to these lectures. Thank you.
You already heard my spiel, but I wanted to just simply thank Britt Wilson, our staff liaison, for all the work that he does. He puts up with us, and he guides us, and he gives us lots of good input. And just thank you. Thank you, Britt.
Well said. So when you get home today, take a cheap adjustable wrench and zip tie it onto your gas main, because when it happens, you're going to freak. And so as soon as the earthquake happens, check to make sure you're not injured, and then immediately smell for gas. And if you smell gas, shut off your gas main, and then shut off the water to your house, because it's going to drain out into the street, and you could drink all that water for days. And not at the street where the main shutoff is, but right around your house, there's a little hose bib, and you'll see something coming out of the ground, and there's a shutoff. Shut that water off, and it might save your life. So we're running along here. Here's our next tip.
Hi, I'm Chris Braun. My tip is very fast and easy. When you go home this evening, get a pair of shoes, place it under your bed, because if an earthquake occurs at night and all the electricity's off and you can't see, you'll at least be able to grab your shoes and protect your feet.
I have mine underneath my bed. Hi, my name is Mark Hendler. Hi, I'm Mark Hendler. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm also a first responder with the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. I'm a resident here in Rancho Mirage. Very proud to be on this commission. I've enjoyed working with everybody here. Kudos to our City Council for all the work and the dedication, commitment to the efforts that Marcia has overseen over the last several years. And I can only say we'll all take heed when we come out of the anesthesia and we recognize that when it's a big jolt, or if it's a flood, or anything that requires these fine men and women from the Rancho Mirage, Riverside County Sheriff's Department to assist us. We'll be very grateful that we've had the training, the expertise, and the assistance necessary to oversee our survival. It's incumbent upon everybody in the room and those that we know to volunteer for any type of benefit that you can give to the city of Rancho Mirage and the community. And CERT training is probably one of the finer ones that you can do.
Thank you so much, Mark. And I just wanted to mention also, by the way, this is my helmet, and not only do I have a little light in my bag, but I also have goggles, so you never know what you're going to need when. We also have in our bags heavy-duty gloves. We have all kinds of other supplies, and the bag is almost too heavy to carry. That's how important it is to have all these things. But I also wanted to mention that this is an incredible group of volunteers who have served the city of Rancho Mirage. We on the City Council believe in participation. We want to participate with all of our residents. We encourage everyone to be on a commission, and we have 16 different commissions. They vary in interests. There are 96 different positions, so if you're interested in serving the city, it's very rewarding, it's a lot of fun, you meet great people, and we encourage you to put in an application, which will be somewhere around April or May, and the different appointments will occur the beginning of June. The City Council members participate in 22 outside boards, commissions, and committees. So we want to hear your voice, we want to hear your input, and we encourage you to get involved. And all you have to do is call City Hall and let us know that you want to be a part of us. Anyway, thank you so much, and thank you to, this is just part of our commissioners. There are several more, and unfortunately they could not join us, but maybe next time. And there is a certificate, Marcia, it's in back there. And if you can bring it up front here, and it says, and all of the commissioners actually have received this certificate, and it says, Certificate of Appreciation. This is certificate is awarded to Marcia Stein and its Emergency Preparedness Commission for your dedication to improving the readiness of our Rancho Mirage community and for your service on the city's Emergency Preparedness Commission. Your work has made Rancho Mirage a more resilient community and helped it to be ready for any disaster. Thank you for your work and commitment to the city of Rancho Mirage. And it's signed by our mayor, Charles Townsend. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, thank you all, and thank you all for all your service.
Thank you, Iris. You did a great job. Thank you, everybody that's on that commission. Certainly does do a great job. Now we're going to move on to, I'm going to open it to public comments. And this is the opportunity for the public to speak on items not on the agenda. As a reminder, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please speak your name loud and clear and where you reside. And I'm going to start with the royalty that we have in the house, right over there. And these young ladies are the Queen and her court of the Date Festival for 2018. Hi, gal.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kiana Garcia, and I am this year's Queen Scheherazade. I am a senior at Palm Desert High School, and I am involved in the Encouraging Capability Project, the National Honor Society, the Interact Club, and I am president of the very first Ballet Folklorico Club at my school. I'm also very active in my high school's theater company, and I attend Musical Theater University at Rancho Mirage High School every day after school. I also try to give back to my community by volunteering with Southwest Church to help build houses for families in Mexico, COFEM, the Narrow Door, and street medicine of the Coachella Valley. I plan to attend College of the Desert for the first years of college, where I hope to transfer to UCLA to major in communications and world arts and culture. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Princess Dunyazad.
Hi everyone, I'm Sienna Gonzalez, this year's Princess Dunyazad. And to tell you all a little bit about myself, I have attended Shadow Hills High School all 4 years while maintaining a GPA above a 4.0 every semester since freshman year. I am on the school's varsity cheer and track team, as well as involved in the internship program there, where I've gotten to teach a period of math and AP seminar to the underclassmen. I volunteer at Sun City Palm Desert Community Association, Sheer Elegance Hair Salon, and occasionally will attend Desert Ridge Academy Middle School to help get their CHILL program up and running. I plan to attend Cal State Fullerton to major in psychology to hopefully work with children. And now Princess Jasmine will introduce herself.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Cadwin Lethlane and I'm this year's Princess Jasmine. I'm a senior at Shadow Hills High School and I have also maintained a 4.0 all 4 years of high school. This year I serve as president of California Scholarship Federation as well as the president of our senior class. I am also a 4-year varsity cheerleader and this year's cheer captain. Outside of school, I'm a part of National Charity League, where I volunteer with my mom at 20 different organizations throughout the Coachella Valley, and I am also a part of Young Women Leaders Forum, where I am a mentee. In the fall of 2018, I plan to attend UCLA and major in biochemistry. And with that, Queen Scheherazade will wrap it up for us. Thank you.
Very good. Go ahead.
In order to save time, we will not be talking about the events of the fair, but we'll give you brochures. And thank you so much for having us. We hope to see you all at the fair. Do you have any questions for us?
When does it start?
It starts, just a reminder, it starts Friday, February 16th through Sunday, the 25th.
Very good. Appreciate it. Well, you're all great. Wish you the best. Your whole life is ahead of you, and I'm sure you'll be very successful. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, moving on. Next is Mr. Ron Heron, MD. Did I say that correctly? Good. Please state your name and the city which you reside. 3 minutes, please.
I'm Dr. Ron Hare, representing the Coachella Valley Volunteers in Medicine. We have a little PowerPoint on the screen here, which represents our picture of our clinic, which we're very proud of, that Supervisor Wilson assisted us in building a number of years ago. The mission of the Coachella Valley Volunteers in Medicine is to provide primary health care services to low-income adults living in the Coachella Valley who have no health insurance or who are underinsured. And I'll push the right button here. We believe everyone has a right to health care. Medical and dental care, health education and wellness programs we give, case management, homeless medical outreach, and community social service referrals. We also are very proud of our affiliation with Eisenhower Hospital, is that the young doctors that are in training in their residency programs do get to come through our clinic, and you get a sense of our community medicine in this valley, with the hope that they stay in the valley after they finish their training, because we need more doctors in family practice in our valley. The conditions we see most commonly are just like a general practice office: diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol problems. These can all be prevented and managed with regular medical care. Otherwise, if we don't see the regular medical care, they get sick, then they show up in our emergency rooms where the true people need emergencies are hard to get in. So it's a very difficult problem for our society, as you all are very aware. Scores of dedicated volunteers donate thousands of hours a year to see our patients. We have doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, and staff people that are provided over 30,000 patient visits, all free. Don't charge them a penny, and we don't get any governmental funds except for local communities. We're very proud of that. Service area is the entire Coachella Valley. We get patients all the way from Desert Hot Springs to Thermal and Mecca and everywhere in between. As you know, many communities are a little more affluent than others, so we don't get quite as many patients from the areas such as Rancho Mirage and Indian Wells and Palm Desert. However, the people who work in those communities tend to need our medical care, because the people in the healthcare industries that are part-time, restaurant people, landscape folks, daycare people. They don't have enough money to have health care, and we take care of them. Patient visits by category, we see it over 60% are primary care, 13% are orthopedic, 8% cardiology, 7% gynecology, and 6% dental. We'd like to expand our dental program a little more. It's just a little more difficulty in dental volunteers than we do medical volunteers. 65% of our patients are women, 35% are men. The employment status is 35% are unemployed or looking. Unemployed is 38%. When we first initiated the clinic years ago in the recession, we had people with $200,000 jobs that had been laid off and needed health care because they lost their health care during that period of time. It was an amazing group of people. We continue to see a large number of people that, again, they can't afford health care or they don't have access to it. Type of work, as I mentioned, office, restaurant people, agricultural, domestic services, gardeners, construction. Many of these people don't have health care, and if they have it, oftentimes the employer doesn't provide it for the families. So we're very proud of what we're able to do. We have major supports from organizations, and particularly including Rancho Mirage, and we are so proud and appreciative of the efforts that you have made for this clinic and taking care of patients in our area. These people come, again, work in your neighborhoods and maybe in your homes, and we want to take care of them, and we do appreciate the support that you all have given us. We're committed to provide no-charge, volunteer-driven care to those who need it in order to maintain a healthy and strong community. If we aren't seeing patients in this level, they end up in the emergency room, which costs, if you look at just the fiscal responsibility, it costs our community so much more money. We're able to do it quite less, for a lot less money, and we really appreciate individuals coming to see us. We have availability of money donations. We're always looking for volunteers, and we certainly appreciate everything that the Rancho Mirage has done. I am, on a personal note, very proud of Rancho Mirage because my wife and I moved here in 1977. And Rancho Mirage was a lot of dirt, and Rancho Las Palmas and the Marriott Hotel. So we've been in and out of the community. We're back in it again, and we just, this is our home, has been for a long time, and we're so very proud of you folks, too, of what you've done for our community. So I wanted to also say that Mr. Mayor, council members, city attorney, city staff, first responders, and everybody who has worked for the city of Rancho Mirage has been unbelievably helpful to us. I'll answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Doctor. Wonderful opportunity that you have given us to see this presentation, and what a great service this organization does. Well needed. Anybody have any questions?
Just one. Doctor, would you repeat how a person who would like to take advantage in some emergency or semi-emergency situation, how do they contact you? Where do they go, or who do they call?
Well, they call our clinic number, or they can go online, and we can sign up for online. We have appointments by time. We don't have walk-ins. If we have time to do it, if our clinic doctors have availability of time, but we probably have an 8 to 10 minute waiting time for our patients to see the doctor. My doctor is a touch longer than that.
That's pretty good.
So we really respect them. The building we have, as you notice, was 6,000 square foot building that our good friend Roy Wilson helped us build, and I'm very proud of him, and Supervisor Benoit carried that on. Victor Manuel Perez now is assisting us in that way too. So we're very fortunate to have input from people. But online, sign up, they can be approved on there. We want to make sure that they're low income. We don't do an IRS check. So if you want to drive your Bentley up and get free care, we'll still give it to you. So it's, appreciate that. So that's what we do.
Ted, did you have something?
Yeah, Ron is very humble. Ron retired as a surgeon a number of years ago, and he became a restaurateur and relocated to Rancho Mirage, and he and his wife own Norma's Italian Kitchen in the Rancho Las Palmas Shopping Center. He went through the period when the center was under remodeling, and now I might say it's immensely successful. So not only does Ron contribute to the community from the standpoint of being a face here from a business standpoint, but he is also full of charity in his heart. And so, Ron, I thank you very much.
You're very kind. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And it's a very good restaurant, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, too.
If I can just contribute one more thing, they have great eggplant parmesan.
Your favorite,
So if
Iris.
it's my favorite.
Yes, it is.
Some of the best.
Very good, thank you. Next, we have on the docket the wonderful Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. I have down here Jason St. John. Is Jason here? There you are. And I see Jack down there also, and Marilyn. Hi, Jason.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you. I wanted to thank you all for Monday night. It was an amazing, amazing night, amazing honor for myself, of course, for the Chamber, and fantastic to stand in front of you all today. I can assure you it is my goal to carry forth the awesome momentum that the Chamber of Commerce has at this time and has been set forth by previous chairs such as Marilyn Bauer and Jack and Michael Potts, and we're here to make you proud. So thank you for all of your support. Just to report on a few events, we did have our business over breakfast meeting yesterday morning at Aqua California Bistro. It was good to be coached on some of the employment law changes for 2018 by Karen Sloat's office. We do have a ribbon cutting coming up on February 8th at the Lombardo Cosmetic Center. They're actually expanding their space. So that is kind of right there behind the Elephant Car Wash. We have several other events coming up, but there is actually a Rancho Mirage City Council meeting before the balance of those events. So we will definitely be coming and presenting to you with the details. Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations to that outstanding board. You really have the knowledge there. It's just warms my heart to see how great that chamber has grown. To all of you, Jack, Marilyn, all the work that you guys, Samantha, everybody has done there. It's a great tribute to the city of Rancho Mirage. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, next we have Robert Mueller. State your name and the city which you reside. 3 minutes, please.
Hello, my name is Robert Mueller. I'm a resident of Rancho Mirage, and I'm a candidate for City Council. After a 5-decade career as a top executive with Sony, JVC Kenwood, and Panasonic, I now live in Rancho Mirage full-time with my partner, Robert Diesso. Rancho Mirage is a nice place to live. It's an affluent town of gated communities and private country clubs. But some people feel there's one 5-member private club that they're not a member of, and that's the City Council. Now's the time to consider how Rancho Mirage can transition from good to great. Our city is overdue to blossom to its true potential. By replacing today's isolated mindset with fresh City Council vision and action, we can actually bolster home values, bring vitality to our resorts, and stimulate the city's business climate. My 4-point platform starts with 2 to get our house in order. Regarding crime, most people would be shocked to learn that Coachella, Indio, Bermuda Dunes, and Cathedral City all have far lower property crime rates than Rancho Mirage. I'll see that aggressive policing methods replace today's reactive policing. Regarding fiscal diligence, the city's recent embezzlement scandal would not have occurred with proper practices in place. I'll implement procedures to safeguard taxpayers. The next two platform points address transparency and vision. Regarding transparency, most council decisions appear to be made behind closed doors with unanimous votes and very little community involvement. For our city to thrive, all residents must feel that they have a welcome voice in our city's operation. Regarding vision and leadership, although I don't personally believe this, I've heard it said many times that Rancho Mirage is an oasis in the desert where old rich folks go to die. It's certainly not why I moved here. But we deserve a better image than this, and we can create one. From career experience, I'll bring innovation to the table, building a more dynamic, vigorous, and attractive reality by putting the city's huge reserves to work. Instead of living in the past, let's work together to chart a vibrant future. I'm eager to be everyone's voice on the City Council and will be honored to have your vote. Thank you for the opportunity.
Next, we will have Richard Bear. State your full name and where you reside, please. 3 minutes.
Yes, Richard Bear, and I live at 70091 Chappelle Road here in Rancho Mirage. And I wanted to just bring an issue before the council of what we're trying to do at my residence here. And I thank you, Mayor, and City Council, and city planners and stuff that are here today. I've been working with Jeremy here to try to resolve the issue. I have a friend that is living at the residence, and he has PTSD. And I think Councilmember SMOTRICH has talked with him and is aware of the situation. His name is Bruce Martinez. And what's happening is that I'm the owner of the property, but I try to help him out as much as possible. And he put up a fence with his money that does not meet code. And I brought pictures for the council to take a look at what it is currently. And we removed the portion of fencing that was in opposition of what the city council had, but also it seems like there's still a problem with the way it's set up now. And so I just wanted to bring it to the attention of the council, and maybe, you know, in their hearts they can see, you know, that we're trying to do the best we can. We're trying to improve the property, you know, to the best of our abilities. Right now I have electrical, and we just got a permit for electrical to redo the electrical, and we also have a window that we're installing in place of the front panel, and then we have a permit for that too. But this fencing was so low that we didn't feel like we needed it. And the purpose of the fencing is to keep Bruce's emotional support animals within the boundaries of the home. And he's been doing that successfully with the front area not exposed anymore, with a blockage of the driveway and stuff. If I could just present these. And like I said, those are the current pictures that we have on file. And, you know, any latitude that you can give us. I'm working with Bruce to try to get this resolved. But like I said, it's been a touch and go battle. And I talked to Randy, I believe, in your department, Councilwoman, and he's aware of the situation there. And I spoke to him quite a bit, and I'm open to any answer or questions that you might have.
Well, thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. I have not had the opportunity to speak to the gentleman living in your house. I know Randy has spoken to you, and everybody seems to be working towards some type of resolution.
Right.
And we appreciate the fact that you came to ask us in person.
All right.
Thank you.
Isaiah?
Yeah, I would, our planning director has been working directly with Richard. I would encourage you to continue to work with Jeremy on this issue. From a city standpoint, it was an illegal fence that was not up to code. And the purpose of code compliance is to get compliance. So we are not a heavy-handed code compliance. We don't want to cite, we don't want to fine, but we do need the condition abated. So please continue to work with Jeremy. I believe that there has been a fence plan that has been approved by the planning department. So please keep communicating with Jeremy Gleim on this issue as we work through it.
Right. The problem, once again, is I'm getting, I'm trying to appease my friend, Bruce, in this situation. And so, I'm trying to persuade him that this is in the best interest. And it's been very difficult. Like I said, he's mentally disabled. He's covered, under the ADA Act. And he's also receiving federal disability, through Social Security. So, I mean, these are not reasons, for violating code. I realize that, yeah, but he's an individualist, and I try to respect that, and I try to help him out as much as I can.
Very good, Richard. Thank you for taking the time to try to help, and I'm sure you'll see the city is also trying to help you also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anybody else in the audience that did not fill out a card to speak on a non-agenda item wish to come forward? Okay, seeing none, I will turn it over to council comments, and I will start. This past week, the city of Rancho Mirage welcomed 47 authors and 1,000 readers to the 5th annual Rancho Mirage Writers Festival. It was a sellout and a sensation. The Writers Festival is a world-class gathering of writers and thinkers, as I said, from around the world. This year's writers represented recipients of Pulitzer Prizes, Oscars, and much, much more to go on here. It was an amazing, amazing, gifted bunch of people that were there at that library. The program included 89 sessions over the course of 2.5 days at the library and observatory. The Rancho Mirage Writers Festival is a literary powerhouse, offering a rich and diverse experience for all. I'm pleased to announce the tickets for the 2019 Writers Festival go on sale March the 1st. I urge you all to get in line quickly because they do sell out immediately. For more information to purchase those tickets, please visit rmwritersfestival.org. That's rmwritersfestival.org. So ending this, if those of you who have been there, it was an amazing, if you saw all the cars at the library for the last couple of days, you can see how successful it certainly was. And I believe it is also going to be on our RMTV. Anybody, right? Jason? You want to talk about that?
Yes, that's correct.
Very, very good. So you can tune in, channel 17, and it is there for you to see in the quiet of your home. Very good. Next, I'm going to go with the continuing of the council comments, and I'm turning it over to Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Kite.
Thank you, Charlie. I just want to take a brief minute or two to discuss the new emergency medical service billing program. Over the last few weeks, you probably received a card like this and said, what's this all about? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the new funding program does and how you can participate. The program allows Medicare and other health insurance providers to be billed for ambulance transportation services through an existing insurance coverage with no out-of-pocket cost for Rancho Mirage residents. Residents will not receive a bill because the insurance payments are considered payment in full. The program was started as a way to help supplement the increasing cost in our ambulance service while still keep ambulance service free to Rancho Mirage residents. And as you may know, the cost for ambulance service these days runs about $1,000. And the city of Rancho Mirage has always picked up that cost. So it's a great program. We're refining it a little bit, making it a little bit easier for the average residents. If you'd like more information, you can visit our website, www.ranchomirage.gov, and click on EMS Insurance Building Program under Quick Links on the home page. If you need any other assistance, you can contact Rancho Mirage City Hall, and I'm sure we'd be happy to help you with that. So Charlie, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Mr. Councilmember Hobart.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a brief comment for those who are not aware of it, or for those who are ignoring it. I want to point out, this has been a great month or so for Rancho Mirage residents, singularly. Other cities don't have these amenities. But during this last month, we had, as Richard just pointed out, we've re-notified our Rancho Mirage residents of the fact that we have free ambulance service. As far as I know, we're the only city that does. I'm not saying that as a fact because I'm not sure, but I've never heard of any other city that did. And the other thing that we do for our public is the newly established Rancho Mirage Energy Authority that we'll be talking about more later, but basically reduces electricity, Southern California Edison costs to you for electricity, reduces your electricity bill by 5%, which comes in handy for most people. So it's been a great month, and Rancho Mirage continues to lead the way with, in the valley of all cities, we're the only one that has zero unfunded pension liability. We have a balanced budget for 16 years, all sorts of things, and we will continue to have them. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dana. Councilwoman SMOTRICH.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I would like to give you a short update on something that is very important to us all, especially in this modern age of technology. And I, like many of you, have experienced frustration with dropped phone calls, weak signals, and dead zones in Rancho Mirage. And there is really a good reason for the less than perfect reception we receive. In simple terms, we need more cell phone towers. Cell phone companies have stated that these problems are due to the city's reluctance to approve the installation of cell towers, but that is truly not the case. Since 1995, the city has approved 36 installations, and of those approved, only 23 have actually been constructed. We do not completely understand why these companies have not installed these approved towers. But based on the limited feedback we have received from company representatives, it seems that, and this is really quite interesting, the allotted annual funding for additional towers is based on a priority list of expansion locations. So it appears that cell phone companies use their annual installation budget to place towers in the approved locations that are priority for the expansion plans. And seemingly, this is where the problem really lies. Jason, if you could put up on the screen, there's a map here that I'd like to go over with you because it illustrates the history of cell phone tower applications and approvals. And as you can see, the city has denied only 3 of the 50 applications. 12 applications have been approved and never constructed. 2 applications were submitted and subsequently withdrawn, and 9 were applied for on an incomplete basis and eventually expired. And as you can see, in the areas where there seems to be the least coverage, the city has received no applications for tower installations. These areas are mostly in country clubs with golf courses, where the installation of palm tree design towers would truly blend into the landscape. However, there were only 2 towers built recently. One was built at the Children's Museum about 5 years ago, and the last tower was constructed at our fire station on Highway 111 almost 2 years ago. And if you can see, it's difficult to see the exact wording, but if you will look at the little dots, the yellow ones mean that those were approved and constructed. The orange dots were approved but never constructed, and those were the ones where the approvals expired. There are 3 little denied stars in orange, and then there's the purple dots, which means that the applications were withdrawn, and the green dots indicate that applications expired, and the blue dot shows that the application was approved and it's pending construction. So, thank you, Jason. As you can see, in the areas where there seems to be the least coverage, the city is encouraged building these towers, but so many of them have just fallen by the wayside. What is quite notable is that the city used to receive multiple calls per year from cell tower companies, but over the past 2 years, there have been no requests for applications. The main reason seems to be that technology is constantly changing and improving, and companies are still working through these changes and will hopefully come up with some fine finished product sometime soon. So the bottom line seems to be that your council hears your frustration, because we experience those same frustrations. And although we cannot make companies build towers, we will certainly continue to look for opportunities to encourage the installation of these towers by reaching out to the cell phone tower companies to provide the best service possible to our Rancho Mirage residents and all of our businesses. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ira. Wonderful information. Next, Mr. Councilman Weil.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This past Monday evening, the Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce held their annual installation gala and Rammy Awards. The 2018 Chamber Board of Directors were sworn in with Jason St. John of Babe's Barbecue and Brew House as the new chairman of the board. The Rammy winners were as follows: the Nonprofit of the Year, Animal Samaritans; the Small Business of the Year, Addiction Therapeutic Services; the Medium Business of the Year, Catalan Mediterranean Restaurant; the Large Business of the Year, Renova Energy; the Rising Star, House of Pokey; the Business Person of the Year, Nicole Mendoza, Locals Choice Printing and Direct Mail. The prestigious Barbara Sinatra Distinguished Citizen Award winner was presented to Rancho Mirage artists Karen and Tony Baroni. It was a wonderful evening. The spirit in the room was outstanding. And as I said then, the business people in the chamber are an extension of the council. They're the PR people. They're the ones that face the public every day. And we owe them all just a tremendous debt of gratitude, because they convey the image and the dedication that we as a council have to making life better here in Rancho Mirage. So I congratulate the entire chamber. Jack Shrebnick, again, you did a great job the year that you were the president. Jason, I know that you'll continue in that outstanding tradition. And once again, congratulations to the winners, and we look forward to another exciting year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ted, for that update. It was a wonderful evening, believe me. Now we will move on to the approval of the regular meeting minutes, January 18th, 2018. Are there any corrections to the minutes? All right, seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve the January 18th, 2018 regular city council meeting as presented. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you very much. Please vote.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, Chris. Next is the consent calendar. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Isaiah Hagerman, our Director of Administrative Services. Isaiah, will you please introduce the consent items?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the City Council, you have 4 items on your consent calendar for consideration today. Item number 1 is the final acceptance of the Rancho Mirage Community Park perimeter fence. That was City Project CP 16-330. Jason, if we could bring up the photos, please. On your screen is a picture of the white fence that was installed. The community park has a walking path that goes throughout the park. And you can see that we have lighting along the fence to illuminate the walking path. And it also connects all the workout stations that are within the park. This project was over budget by $2,140, and that was at the request of the city. The original project was scoped with lights on every 4th pole, and after seeing that product tested in the evening hours, we realized that more light was needed on the walking trail. So we requested that the contractor increase the number of lights, so there is a light on every 3rd pole for the safety of people using our walking trail in the evening hours. Thank you. Item number 2, Mayor Townsend is recommending that the City Council reappoint Mr. Bill Reason to serve an additional 3-year term on the Palm Springs International Airport Commission. Item number 3 on your consent calendar is the receive and file of the December 31st, 2017 quarterly treasurer's report. For the quarter, the city's investment portfolio earned $337,436, and the yield to maturity on our city portfolio is 1.45%. And item number 4 are demands, and city staff are here to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you, Isaiah. Are there any comments from the public or the council on any of the consent items? Billy, I'm going to call you up in a minute, but you can come up now if you want. Okay. All right. I will make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Very good. Please vote.
And motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Now, Bill, would you like to come up and say a few words on being reappointed to that airport?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is this on?
There you go.
Okay.
You're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, city staff. I'm here to thank you and tell you that I appreciate your support and you reappointing me for another term as your representative on the Palm Springs International Airport Commission. As you probably remember, I've been a pilot since I was a teenager. I worked as a chief of the California State Division of Aeronautics, which I worked with all the airports in the state. So very knowledgeable about airport operations. And so I've really enjoyed serving on the commission with my knowledge of airport operations, and enjoyed representing you and the residents of our great city of Rancho Mirage on the commission. So I look forward to another term, and again, thank you very much. I enjoy representing you as airport commissioner, and I thank you again for your support.
Well, Bill, you were reappointed because of the outstanding job, the dedication, and your enthusiasm for that. So congratulations.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as I've done the last couple of years, I've tried to keep you informed of what's going on at the airport.
That's the comment I wanted to make, and thank you. That is important. It's important for us to know what's going on at the airport. It's extremely important for our residents to know. And you've done an excellent job at keeping us all informed. So keep up that good work. It's very important.
Thank you, Mr. Hobart. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Take care, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, next we're going to move on to the public hearings. And this item is regarding rate schedules for RMEA, other known as Rancho Mirage Emergency Authority. Mr. Hageman, will you present the staff report?
Before Mr. Hagerman starts on this report, I would like to let everyone know that I will be still recusing myself, yes, because of my husband's and my stock holdings in the Edison International Company. So you'll call me back whenever you're finished.
You are excused. Mr. Isaiah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. The proposed resolution for your consideration today would be to approve our actual rate schedules that we will use under the Rancho Mirage Energy Authority. These are the rate schedules that provide the 5% savings to anyone that participates within our program. Jason, why don't we go ahead and fire up the PowerPoint? So under our program, with our rate schedules, we adopt the same rate schedules as Southern California Edison. They're just simply lowered to provide our customers or our community with a 5% savings. And that's an important component of the program, is it allows customers, both residential and commercial customers, to really weigh what this program is going to do for them as far as the financial impacts. So they have an apples to apples comparison with the rate plan they were on under Edison. Ours works the same way. It's just the rates are lowered by 5% so that participants within Rancho Mirage Energy Authority save that 5% on the energy. With the energy that we are producing or are selling under the program, our energy is cleaner and cheaper than Southern California Edison's. So our base plan is that 5% savings plan, and it's 50% carbon free. So 50% of the energy that we're procuring and delivering to our community is 50% carbon free, which is a combination of 35% renewable energy and 15% large electric hydro energy. We do have one pending rate schedule that is not being considered today by the City Council. That is the rate schedule that only has one customer on it, and that is Eisenhower Medical Center. And really due to the complexity of that customer and that rate schedule with their standby rates, our team is currently working with the Eisenhower staff to really understand their usage. We've reviewed 2 years worth of bills, and we're still working with Eisenhower Medical Center staff to further understand the standby component. So this schedule will be brought back for the council's consideration at a later date once we've had a chance to really work through the details of this customer. It also, these rate schedules, there's a couple additional options that we provide our community, and one of the options that we've been very excited about at the subcommittee level and as a city is the ability to offer our community a 100% renewable energy plan. So, when you think of Rancho Mirage Energy Authority, CCA programs in general, it's really a choice, where really before there was none. So each customer has the ability they can stay with Southern California Edison at higher rates, they can join our base plan, or if it's important to them, they have the ability to opt up to a 100% renewable plan. And what we do on our end is, for their usage, we procure 100% renewable energy. So for our members of the community out there that are really concerned with the environment and the impacts of global warming, this is a very affordable and easy way to reduce your footprint as a property owner. Solar is great, but it is also very expensive. And there's a lot of members of our community that maybe don't have the ability to come out of pocket with the capital cost of a solar system. Or maybe they are uncomfortable with financing that system through the PACE program. So what this plan does is it's a very affordable plan, and it's a little add-on from our base rate. So we're already procuring 35% renewable. So if somebody signs on or opts up to this plan, and they have to take action to do that, we got to procure the other 65% of their renewable energy component, and the cost of doing that is another 0.4 cents per kilowatt hour. So when I first heard that, it meant nothing to me either. So to give customers a potential impact of joining this program, our average residential customer within the city of Rancho Mirage uses 1,100 kilowatts per month. So under this program, you would pay an additional $440 a month to go 100% renewable. And that's from our base plan. So depending on the usage, for some of our customers, it could still potentially be cheaper than the Edison base plan. If your usage is a little higher, maybe it will be about equivalent. But most customers will probably still save compared to the Edison rate under this plan. So we designed it to be a relevant option. There were some, with some of the other CCAs that we've seen launch, we've seen rates as double or triple our rate for the same program. So we wanted to keep the cost low and have it be a doable option for our community. The other program or other rate plan that we're offering is for people that do have solar. If you have the ability to go solar, it's a great way to help the environment and lower your electric bill. So we definitely didn't want to do anything under our program to hamper the solar industry. So to still incentivize solar under our program, we double the rebate for excess energy put back onto the grid over Edison. Plus the energy that you are using, because when you think of a solar system, you produce during the day, and then at night you pull off the grid. And there's this big up and down where your solar system is producing more during the day than what you're using, and then at night you start pulling off. So any energy you are using is still 5% cheaper, and then at the end of the year, we offer double the rebate to our solar customers over the Edison plan. And the way this program works, which I'm going to touch on later, from a customer standpoint, everyone's automatically enrolled in the base plan and signed up for the 5% savings. So there's nothing you have to do to get signed up for these savings. In addition, if you have solar on your home, you also have to take no action to get that double rebate. It's automatic. We know who you are, and we automatically sign you up for that double rebate under the program. There's only two things that you need to do as a customer that requires you to take action. First one is, if you want to opt out and get out of our program and stay on Southern California Edison rate schedule at a higher rate, you have to take action to opt out. And the other is you have to take action if you want to opt up to the 100% renewable plan. So taking a look at the program as a whole, those are the rate schedules that are attached to the resolution that is being considered today. Taking a step back and using this as an opportunity to talk about our program again, what are some of the highlights of the Rancho Mirage Energy Authority? Well, we're going to start providing power on May 1st. This is only available to Southern California Edison customers. So we do have 2 small areas within our city that is served by IID, so those customers are not impacted. You're going to save 5% on your electrical usage under our program, and at a 90% participation rate, so if 90% of our meters join this program, after 1 year, we're looking at saving our community $1.4 million just after the first year of operations. As I mentioned earlier, our energy is cleaner and cheaper. So not only will you save 5%, but you're also helping out the environment because we're using cleaner energy and procuring cleaner energy than Southern California Edison. We provide customers with a choice, and at the end of the day, if a customer doesn't want this program, they can absolutely opt out and stay with Southern California Edison rate schedules. So it is a choice. And then we also are offering the 100% renewable plan, and customers need to take action to opt up to that plan as well. Now, Rancho Mirage Energy Authority with the May 1st date, launch date, would be the 6th CCA in the Southern California Edison service territory to be operating. So on the screen, we've summarized what the other CCA programs were offering as far as savings when they launched. So as you can see, all the other programs launched at 3% savings to the customer. Our program is launching at 5% savings. And I'm going to touch on this in more detail later, but really we had these discussions when we were talking about, there's a couple different options of how you form a CCA. And part of the reason that we did a CCA program just for our community is we wanted to be able to control some of the cost factors that were flowing through to our customers. And Rancho Mirage is very fiscally sound, and we don't need to turn our meters, our customers' meters, into a revenue stream for our city. So part of the reason that our program is offering more savings is we were tighter on the costs. And 2 key areas is this is a standalone program. So really, what does that mean? Only the direct charges of the program are being charged back through to the program. Also, on the back end, any revenue from the program stays with this program and it stays within our community. So there's no salaries and benefit allocations from city staff. There's no overhead allocations of costs of City Hall. Because if we do that, it just puts it onto our community and it impacts the amount of savings that you can provide. So those conversations happened when we were talking about the various options we have, and that was really the driving force behind us starting our own program. Is we weren't trying to create another municipal utility. We just simply wanted to create a program that passed some savings on to our community.
So actually that 5% is due to what you just explained of all those benefits that we have.
Yes. From an impact to our customers, to our community, our residents, our businesses, really this program is extremely simple to implement because of the way it works. So, we're not becoming the new utility. So Southern California Edison, still the utility. Basically, we've created a program where our community is automatically enrolled and signed up for the RMEA base plan, and it's 5% savings. Also under our program, if you are receive the low-income discount, what's referred to as the CARE program, our CARE customers are really saving compared to the CARE rate of Southern California Edison. So if you're in the CARE program, which we have about 1,200 low-income discount accounts within our city, they're going to save 27% over the Edison CARE program. So great savings for them. And that's really because of the exemption of some rules within state law where the utility is not able to pass through some charges to those type of customers. So they really save under our program. And we talked about last week when we were discussing the program that the rate schedules you're approving today are actually 25% below the Edison rate schedule. But the reason it's a net 5% savings is Southern California Edison gets to charge these exit fees to our customers. So after everything is said and done, overcoming our cost and these exit fees that Edison charges, we're still saving our customers 5%. So it is a net 5% savings. You will save 5%. Our solar customers are automatically signed up for the double rebate. And from a ratepayer standpoint, Southern California Edison is still the utility and continues to maintain the poles, the wires, smart meters, all equipment, open and closes accounts, and manages the power outages. They also continue to qualify people for the CARE program. Southern California Edison performs the monthly billing, and they also still collect from people enrolled within our program. So there's no changes to auto pays or level rate pay plans. So really, from a customer standpoint, you're automatically enrolled for 5% savings, and if you have solar, you're automatically signed up for the double rebate for the excess energy put back onto the grid. You're not leaving Edison. Edison is still going to do what they were doing before. They're still billing you. They are still collecting from you. I know many in our community, because of the extreme differences between the summer and winter months, do a level rate pay plan where they even those bills out, so their bill's about the same every month. None of that changes. In fact, for those customers that join our program, most of the time those rates go down, because when they join our program, Edison recalculates it based off our rate schedule and not their own, so they start to realize that 5% savings via a lower level rate pay plan. So from a customer perspective, unless you want to get out and stay with Southern California Edison at higher rates, which is definitely your choice, it's a personal choice, or you want to opt up to a 100% renewable plan, those are the only two things that you have to do to be eligible for this program. So from an impact to our residents and our business accounts, it really is a very easy program to implement with very minimal impacts, and you're going to save 5% on your utility bill, which all of us out here with our extreme climate, I'm sure will enjoy. Now, as part of the program, even though it is very easy to implement, we still have to go through a very large public outreach campaign. So as part of that, the city is currently in the process of really designing this outreach campaign, but we're going to have a dedicated website that will have frequently asked questions. You can find out all you want to find out on this website. That's under development. We're going to have a dedicated telephone line so people can call in if they don't want to go to a website, and they can find out all about our program, what the options are, what they're going to receive, what they need to do on their part. We're also going to do mailers, so just like we did with the emergency medical billing program, we're also going to be sending out mailers to our community to help them with the education process. We also will be doing the required opt-out notices. So under law, we need to send 4 of these opt-out notices to every customer within our community. And those will be sent 60 days before our launch date, March, 30 days before our launch date, April, and then there's no notices in the month of May, and then the 2 months after, June and July, you'll get another 2 opt-out notices. And that's simply to make people aware of their right to opt out of our program. Now, other CCA programs that have launched in the Southern California Edison service territory, they see a very high participation rate in the mid to high 90s, simply because the program is so easy. From a customer standpoint, you literally don't do anything, and you're going to start saving 5% on your electrical usage. And you have the benefit of knowing that the energy you are using is also a cleaner product than what you get from Southern California Edison. So it's cleaner and cheaper. We're going to be doing e-blasts to communicate, and then we're also going to be holding numerous meetings and town hall forums to help with that public awareness campaign.
Isaiah, where do you think you're going to hold those forums?
We're looking at the library.
Okay.
And once those dates get set, we're looking at multiple dates, varying times of the day to reach. We're also reaching out to our HOAs and offering to come to the HOAs and present. We're going to be meeting with our business community. We're definitely going to be utilizing our Chamber of Commerce to reach out to the commercial accounts. And really, when you think of the power of this program, our businesses, our commercial accounts have a really high incentive to join this program because as a dollar balance, their bills are much higher because they have much larger facilities than maybe a residential home. So that 5% represents a much larger dollar amount to our commercial customers. So it is a great thing for our business community. And it's also good for our local school district. So Palm Springs Unified obviously has Rancho Mirage High School and Rancho Mirage Elementary School within our city limits. So they are eligible for this program. And I met with Julie Arthur, who is the Director of Facilities for the school district. She's also on our oversight board, and she is a Rancho Mirage resident. And we were talking about this program in the context of the school district. And even though the school has solar panels, Edison charges them a minimum balance every month. So they're kind of on the hook for that. And that comes out of the school district's general fund. So their utility bill directly competes with teachers, classroom supplies. Being able to lower the school district's bill, that 5% is a good chunk of money for the school district, and it's right in their general fund that they can reprogram into classrooms. So she was extremely excited about the program. So we're reaching out to all the parties impacted to try to raise awareness about this program. So this question's been, I've had the opportunity to speak to a few residents about this program since the news media did start to cover what we were doing here. And one of the questions that seems to pop up is, why did we do a program specifically for Rancho Mirage? In the course of this program's review, this is something the city has been studying for almost 2 years now. It started in March 2016. We've had numerous studies authorized, numerous public meetings, open public meetings discussing this topic, and some of these early questions were done a while ago before people heard about the program.
This was not done overnight. The time and effort with subcommittees and all you guys working, you unturned every little stone and pebble. I want to make sure that everybody's aware of that, what went into what you are now talking about.
Yeah, it's been a 2-year process,
Yes.
and thank you to the CCA Formation Subcommittee, Mayor Pro Tem Kite and Councilman Hobart. There was a lot of meetings, a lot of questions as we developed this plan. And so one of the issues we had to address in the beginning of this was, what model do we want to create for this program? Really you're looking at 2 concepts. You can run your own program, like we chose to do, or you can do a new JPA, kind of a new entity where multiple cities appoint one board member, and that board of multiple communities where you're just one small voice on a larger board kind of dictates this program over a much wider service area. And we kind of realized early on, and we had the advantage of kind of comparing the CVAG plan for their CCA and kind of what our program would look like if we did it on our own. So it was great to have that comparison, and it really helped us during this process. And ultimately, obviously, what we decided on was, given our community, there were some great enhancements that we felt like we could provide to our community if we did it ourselves. So ultimately, we decided to do a program just for our community, and it allowed us to have local control. Well, what does local control mean? It means that this program is controlled by the Rancho Mirage City Council, whose interests are aligned with our community. It also allows the City Council to tailor this program specifically to our community. So what is relevant in Cathedral City may not be relevant here. The usage patterns in our community are very different than what you see in Cathedral City. So really, we didn't have to worry about servicing this broad service area and generalize for everybody. It allowed us to tailor this program specifically for our community and some of the unique usage that we see in our community. It also allowed us to have much lower administrative costs, and that directly led into higher savings compared to other programs. So our program is saving more compared to the other programs out there. We're also starting before everybody else. Our program is set to launch on May 1st. So our community is going to not only save more, but it's going to start saving sooner because of what we decided to do. And as I mentioned earlier, our program money stays within our community. So one of the key aspects was that when you look at our residential usage, our average residential usage is higher compared to other communities. So what does that mean? If we were within a broader service area, the JPA would be making more money off our community because our average account is using more electricity. So in essence, we would have become the profit center for a larger JPA, but those resources would not have been returned to our community. They would have been spread across this very big service area that didn't necessarily meet our community. And then the other consideration when you look at the formation of it was how do we mitigate risk? So obviously any new venture carries some amount of risk, and with the ability to control the amount of risk that we take on and have that weighed by our city council, but also utilize the strength of Rancho Mirage. We are a very fiscally sound city, and that plays to our advantage within this program because we don't have to jump out and allocate salaries and benefits to this program of city staff. We don't have to allocate lights and overhead of City Hall to this program. It also allowed us to not enter into some areas that other programs were wanting to do. So as we worked our way through this program, definitely the way that we set it up mitigated the risk. Now, did we eliminate all risk? No. But when we sat down and looked at the factors and said, okay, for our community, we're essentially risking $300,000, and we have the potential after 1 year to save our community $1.4 million. We felt that was an appropriate amount of risk under this program, especially given that we are Rancho Mirage. So the potential benefits under this program we recognize right off the bat, and obviously going back to it's our program. So we can tweak it, we can design it for our community only. We don't have to worry about anyone else. And really, we're a small community compared to, maybe say a Palm Springs. Yeah. Palm Springs carries a much larger voice on these boards than we would. So often as we see currently with JPA boards, we get outweighed by the larger communities. So we didn't want that to happen with this program. Really, when you look at why did we start our own program, I think the results of this program are speaking for itself. So with that, the resolution that's before you today would approve our 24 rate schedules, which provide 5% savings to our community, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Isaiah. Are there any questions of council or staff? All right. Anybody from the public wish to speak on the subject and come forward? All right, seeing there's nobody there for that. We do have one, okay. Please state your name and the city in which you reside. 3 minutes, please.
I'm Joseph Klaskins. I have been at the Rancho Mirage Country Club for 19 years. This sounds like a wonderful idea. I'm unsure where the 5% comes from? Because clearly the city isn't subsidizing our bills. Is it because of some sort of bulk sales contract with Edison, or what produces the savings?
Sure. So under our program, essentially our administrative costs are lower than Edison's. So there's other factors at play here, because if it was just economies of scale when you purchase power, obviously Edison is purchasing much more power than we are. But the way our program is designed is we don't have the administrative burden that Southern California Edison does, so we don't have the cost structure of Southern California Edison. So a lot of our suppliers are some of the same suppliers as Southern California Edison, but you get the advantage of a lower cost structure through an administrative process, which is really how we're able to set rates that are lower. So the 5% savings to the customer is simply because our rate schedule is 5% lower. So when a customer pays their bill, they're still going to pay Southern California Edison. It's just our rate schedule supplements the Southern California Edison rate schedule on the bill. So that's how our community is going to save 5%, is the rate schedule that they're getting charged is lowered by that 5%.
But Southern California Edison is still doing the billing, the servicing, et cetera. So none of those costs have changed.
Right, and actually under our program, we pay for them to do that service.
So you're paying them to do that service, but you're paying them less than what they would do it for in-house, or what they would budget for themselves?
Yeah, so when you think of Southern California Edison, they're a very large entity that has shareholders. So our cost structure is very different than the Edison cost structure. So one example is this program operates out of City Hall. Well, City Hall's already here. We don't have to have a special administration building to run this program. So they are a much bigger entity, which has very large costs associated with being that large of an entity and with shareholders. So our program is essentially leaner and meaner than the Edison cost structure. So we don't encounter this big bulky overhead to provide you electricity like Edison does. So in addition, with our rate structure, the reason that our energy is cheaper is we're taking advantage of market rates right now, where Edison is very long, and they locked into some higher prices than what we experience. So there's many factors that play into it, but the largest factor is we have much lower administrative costs under our program and to run our program than Southern California Edison has. So as far as delivering power, we do it more efficiently than Edison because we don't have this big entity to support.
So I think now I understand it. So basically what you're saying is that when Edison bills us directly, part of the cost is their overhead. In effect, the city of Rancho Mirage is just buying the power without the overhead costs, and that the overhead costs you impose are much less.
Right.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the public on this subject? All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearings. Do any members of the council have any comments? Richard.
Mr. Mayor, could I make a comment?
You may.
Isaiah, this is a pretty exciting day, isn't it? After 2 years of hard work of your committee and the subcommittee, we've finally got to the point where we're going to approve the actual cost of power for the Rancho Mirage Energy Authority. How do you like that name? So, this goes back almost 20 years when Dana and I were on the council, and we were looking for a way to lower cost of energy for our residents. And we went through a lot and determined it wasn't the right time or the right money at that time. But today is a great day. It's historic, certainly for our city, and for maintaining what we want to do in our city. That's local control, set our own rates, and make it right for our residents. And as you said, our program is right for us. It may not be right for anybody else out there. But we're the first city in the valley to start this. And so we're going to set the example. and we're going to do a great job. And the people of Rancho Mirage are going to thank us for this, not just next year, but 10 years from now when they're really saving a lot of money. So good work.
Thank you, Richard. Dana?
That's a point I wanted to make too, was that the 5% savings is what we can do now with expenses still to be repaid as time passes. The ability to increase the savings to the public will increase because we won't have those expenses, and the cost of energy will be less for us, all told. And I also would like to say that the reason we're the only city in the valley that is at this point in the energy plan is because everybody in the valley, every city in the valley, started looking at it and started moving forward with this plan. We were the only ones to stay with it, to recognize that there were deadlines that had to be met, and one in particular that we met and others did not. All of that's attributable to the fact that Isaiah Hagerman has led this charge for the past 2 years. And we're all indebted to him. And Richard and I remain bleary-eyed for all the meetings that we had that were called by him. He got our approval step by step. And I think our city is in a wonderful position because of all the energy that Isaiah put into this matter. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of all residents, Isaiah, for your immense contribution to this program.
Thank you. Appreciate it. On a personal note, I am a resident and property owner in Rancho Mirage as well, and I can tell you, for me personally, I will be in this program.
Mr. Chairman, could I make the motion that the council adopt Resolution 2018 next in order approving electric generation rates for Rancho Mirage Energy Authority Community Choice Aggregation Program?
Is there a second?
Second.
Very good. Please vote.
Motion passes 4-0 with Councilmember SMOTRICH recused.
Very good. Can we now bring
And
this
May
back?
1 is the magic day, so
Yes.
everything turns into Rancho Mirage at that time.
Very good, very good. We will wait for Councilwoman SMOTRICH to return. Yes, it's a red letter day for us here. Wonderful. There she is. All right, we will now move to the action calendar. Item number 6 is appointments to the Observatory Advisory Commission. David Bryan, our library director, and present the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the Library and Observatory Board. Our request today is that the Library and Observatory Board appoint your nominees, Robert Horn, Dennis Steele, Robert Rosser, Marilyn Bauer, and Maureen Fife Dunn to serve as commissioners on the Rancho Mirage Observatory Advisory Commission. A little bit of background. The observatory on the library campus is nearing completion and will be dedicated on March 25th of this year, 2018. The observatory, with its technology, bringing space images into the library's community room, will offer new programming options for the library's events calendar. Once the astronomer is in place, working with key library staff, the observatory will offer opportunities in new areas of scientific, educational, and entertaining programming for all ages. On July 20th, 2017, the Library and Observatory Board established the Rancho Mirage Observatory Advisory Commission, which consists of 7 members. 2 of the members are Library and Observatory Board members, currently Mayor Townsend and Councilmember Hobart. who serve as ex officio non-voting members. The other 5 members are appointed by the Librarian Advisory Board, with each board member nominating one person, and nominations being approved by the majority of the Library and Observatory Board. Having the Observatory Advisory Commission in place as the observatory begins operations is timely and will prove to be very helpful to the library staff and to the astronomer. The Library and Observatory Board members have reviewed all applications received by those interested in serving on the Observatory Advisory Commission, which are on file in the City Clerk's office. Their nominations are as follows. Mayor Townsend nominates Robert Horn. Mayor Pro Tem Kite nominates Dennis Steele. Councilmember Hobart nominates Robert Rosser. Councilmember SMOTRICH nominates Marilyn Bauer. And Councilmember Weil nominates Maureen Fife Dunn. Any questions or comments? Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, David. Are there any council questions or comments on this subject?
Mr. Mayor, if the nominees are here, could they stand up?
Are the nominees here? Do you want to come up? Why don't you come up and just say a few words? How what a wonderful, this is a first of a first, so you're part of history, guys. Come up and say something. You want to introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm Maureen Fife Dunn.
Hit the button. No, the red button.
Okay,
There you go.
the on.
There you
Am I
go.
on now? Okay, good.
You're on.
I'm delighted. I've been waiting for the observatory to open.
Good.
My absolute favorite thing is astrophysics, quantum mechanics, and I'm just delighted. I'm sure these people too will be delighted. I hope that I will be able to contribute. I'm looking forward to the whole community getting involved. Thank you very much for choosing me.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Next, Marilyn.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and Council, and David Bryant and City staff. Thank you for this opportunity. I really am humbled. A client of mine, years ago, she was very special, and she was the wife of Edward Durrell Stone. He was the architect of Eisenhower Medical Center. And she was very worldly and classy, like you, Iris. And she used to say to me, Marilyn, you reach for the moon, you'll get a few stars. And this is more than I can appreciate. Believe me, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Bob Rosser.
Hi, Bob.
I want to thank you all for this opportunity. Dana and I have been talking about the observatory for any number of years now, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations on all of you being a part of the history, as I said again, in the city of Rancho Mirage. Very, very exciting. Any other council comments? Yeah, okie dokie. Any other public wish to speak regarding the observatory? Okay. Seeing none.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Please do.
That the Library and Conservatory Board appoint Robert Horn, Dennis Steele, Robert Rosser, Marilyn Bauer, and Maureen Fife Dunn to serve as commissioners on the Rancho Mirage Observatory Advisory Commission.
Second. Thank you, Richard. And we have a second from Ted. Everybody vote.
And motion passes 5-0.
And the term is for how long?
Their term is for, what are you doing?
Well, these are the first terms, and they will run out at the end of May. I believe that's correct.
Yes.
For city clerk.
Right.
And then there'll be other appointments or reappointments.
Very good. Any
But
other
these are our
questions?
first commissioners,
This
so
is the
that's pretty
first,
exciting.
right? Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Now we're going to go into closed session, and I'm going to ask Mr. Quintanilla, will you please introduce the closed session items?
Before I do that, if you want me to, I can shed a little bit more light on the cell phone reception issue.
That'd be great.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to point out that if the city council could fix this, they would have fixed it a long time ago because they can keep better tabs on me. I can no longer claim I was driving down 111, that's why I lost you. In any event, last year I attended a city attorney's conference, and there was some discussion about just where these wireless providers were going with their technology. And the reason why they were there is because there was some proposed legislation that would allow the wireless companies to locate these box antennas on our signal lights and on our signal light boxes. And the legislation that they had proposed would require the cities to do it for free. That didn't work out. So they came back with some other legislation, and the new legislation attempted to freeze the lease rates. So we can only charge like $200 for each box antenna. Well, what the box antennas are doing is that they're going to create networks, these wireless networks, basically using all of our signal lights, and the antennas communicate with one another. And so that's primarily the reason why a lot of the cell companies are not building cell towers in cities where they got them approved, because they're waiting for, hopefully to get legislation passed so they can use our signal lights for free. I ran into a Verizon consultant at this conference, and he knew a lot about Rancho Mirage, and I said, there's one of the issues they have there, particularly along Highway 111, is that, we lose cell reception. And he explained to me that the reason for that is that there's no incentive to place cell towers near 111 because you don't have any customers up there in the hills. So you lose like half of their customers. So that's one of the reasons why I guess we're not seeing any applications for any antennas, or we didn't in the past for Highway 111. In any event, I just thought I'd add that.
Very good, Steve.
So, with that said, we're now going to recess into closed session to discuss some potential initiation of litigation items. That involves 3 potential cases. That's pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4. Council is also going to discuss existing litigation known as Veronica Juarez versus City of Rancho Mirage. That's pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1.
Very good. I will now recess this very energetic council into closed session. Thank you.